Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Apolonia Cross, and today I'm going to be sharing 8 ideas to help you plan and prep for the holiday season. Now, if you're somebody who is a very type A, very functional and punctual type of a person, some of these things that I might be sharing with you may be a little bit outside of your comfort zone, or you may not have thought about it just because you're always so focused on getting in and getting things done. But I want to encourage you to really embrace some of these ideas because this will help you be able to live better fully in the present, as well as have some fun decompression time, which is so important around this time of year. So I know we're in Q4 and I know a lot of us have a lot of big goals to push through for the end of the month, but these different ideas that I want to share with you are really designed to help you be more present and intentional with being mindful of the season that we're in, as well as be able to help you bring more joy and relaxation into your daily life for yourself and for your family. So let's go ahead and get into these 8 ideas to help you start planning and prepping for the holiday season. Now, the very first thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that you might want to start including in your holiday plan and prep season, because we not only have Christmas and Thanksgiving that we think about, right? But actually, the holiday season starts straight in October, depending on when you're watching this video. Like, we are literally just a few days away from October 1st. And so we have Halloween, which is a very big thing, especially if you have kiddos like I do. And we have Thanksgiving, which is a whole nother big thing. And then we got all the other holidays coming up. And with this season also comes comfort food. We want to experiment and try different foods that are only in season right now because it is harvest time. And so that's the one thing that I want to encourage you to include into your daily planning list now. And let me pause this. Shoot. Okay. So that is something that I really want to encourage you to include in your planning list, is recipes to try. Now, this, whether you're a baker, a cooker, or not, this is something that could be very fun for you to incorporate with the family. Get everybody involved. Ask them what type of foods that you want to try. Maybe you want to experiment with going all crock pot for the month, or maybe you want to tap into more baking to help kind of heat up the house and be able to tap into that fun baking and cakes and pastries, that all of those types of things. Whatever it is that you want to do, really include that into your planning list for this season. And then 2, this is going to give you the opportunity to try things out and experiment before you think about bringing it to a family function. So this is one of my favorite things to talk about, because I love to cook and I also love to host events and parties. And there's always so many different recipes and so many different things that I want to try and the kids want to try as well. So having a recipe list is always very helpful to help me kind of go from all of the things to the most important things that I want to make sure that we try out this year. All right. Now, the second thing, but you can debate yourself if this is like the most important or not, but the second thing that I want to encourage you to create a list for is fall break fun list. Now, depending on how many days your kids are out of school, this may be a very extensive list, but it also might be a very simple list. But this is something you definitely want to plan out in advance for as best as you can, because the last thing you want to do is to be stuck in a house with a bunch of kids trying to figure out how the heck you're going to entertain them, what you're going to do with them, and all of the things. And not just that, but you also want to consider how much money do you want to spend on these activities, because a lot of times we don't think about the money that's going into it. We just think like, okay, I need to figure out what to do with the kids. And a lot of the times we end up flying off the seat of our pants, as well as trying to manage all of the tantrums, all of the things. You want to do your best to pre-plan all of those activities, things, and things. And this way, this helps your family, especially your kids who need consistent routine and also need to know what's coming. So that way they can be a lot more better. Everybody can be better, to be quite honest. But this way, everybody can be on the same page what's going on instead of being overwhelmed and stressed and rushed. That is the last thing any of us want to do during this fall season, is have to rush through everything, especially with the holidays coming up. Like, that's the busiest time of the year. Nobody wants to stress. So the best thing for yourself to do is to really plan the fall break. And if you are a future planner like I am, also start thinking about what you're going to do during the holiday season. I always recommend the further in advance you can start planning, the better it is for your mental health and also just for your peace, as well as for the family, because now you guys are going in to everything already knowing what's coming up and what you're going to do, and you can be a lot calmer, a lot focused, and being able to execute these things a lot better versus, like I said earlier, just being like, okay, what are we going to do? Oh, dang. And then now you've got a bill that you weren't expecting to pay for, right? Nobody likes those things, but we all do want to have the fun. So the better you are prepared for it, the better you are to actually be able to enjoy it. All right. And so for my budget friendly folks who are like, well, I don't want to spend a whole lot of things, but I do want to start incorporating some fun ideas, why not make a movies to watch list? And this is something that I really, really love doing because of the fact that you, especially with the cost of things going up, it's great to go to the pumpkin patches. It's great to go to the theme parks and all of those things. But sometimes it's just great to chill at home and watch a themed movie. If you and your family are into scary movies, make a list of scary Halloween movies to watch, or even fun family friendly fall themed movies, like whatever you want to be able to watch at home. And then also includes maybe a day or two of movies that you might want to go out to the movie theater. And again, setting a budget for that as far as when you go to the movie theater. That way, again, you're able to enjoy yourself without the stress or the fuss. Okay. All right, now let's talk about memory keeping. Memory keeping is my fourth way that I really love to use planners for, because it helps you be grateful for what you were able to do, right? Because a lot of times we get so focused, especially if you are a recovering type A, get her done, go getter type of a person. Having a memory keeping planner to where you can capture pictures and also just writing what you were most grateful for that moment, or writing down a funny activity that happened for the day or anything like that, it helps you stay more positive. It helps you stay more encouraged and hopeful. And this is where it helps you also remember to be present in the moment, because sometimes we can just get so caught up in all of the busy, keeping house, booking appointments, working and all of the things. And we can get so lost in the busy to where we can feel like, yeah, there was nothing that happened great. I was just so busy. I didn't really feel anything, right? You don't want to go into the holiday season feeling numb and as if life is just passing you on. So having a planner that's dedicated, or a journal, to where you are able to just allow yourself that free space to remember some of the amazing things that happened during the day or during the season, is a great thing for you to do for your mental and emotional and spiritual health. All right. Now, my next favorite thing that I love to talk about is home decorating. Now, if you are new to decorating your house, or maybe you kind of do it a little bit, this is something that you want to plan and prep for, because it can definitely get expensive, right? And so, especially if you're just starting out with wanting to decorate your house, and it's been something that you've always wanted to do, but it may not have necessarily been in the budget, or you would look at all of these amazing, pages, influencers, all whatever, and you would love to do that, but it's just not in the budget, or maybe you don't even know how. Start small. Why not create a list of ideas, start capturing those pictures, maybe start a Pinterest board or something like that, or cut out those pictures and create like a vision board for what you would like to start including in your house. And then take a look around and start price checking how much these things are for you. And especially right now, they not only have fall season decorations, they have fall theme, they have Halloween theme, they already start having Christmas decorations as well, if you are somebody who loves to go to Hobby Lobby. So start taking the time to really price things out and really start to get those ideas in your head, and then see how much that's really going to cost you. And if it's something that you guys can swing, which most of the time that it is, a lot of the times we just automatically think it may not because we see the upfront price tag, versus remembering, all right, if I start thinking about these things now and start working towards it, I'll be able to do it. And so you can easily start decorating your house with under $100 and be able to really build from that. That was something that I did, is I waited till there was a big sale and I got a little bit of items. I spent about $150 that year. And even though it wasn't like how my home decorating is now, it felt so good to just start. And throughout the years, I've been able to gradually add on and gradually improve and gradually get better with things. And so again, start with where you're at and start thinking about where you want to start with that. Okay. All right. Now the next one that you want to include is book reading. What are some books that you want to read during the season? This is the perfect time where you want to grab a book, grab your devotional, and grab coffee and a blanket and just sit in peace and quiet, right? And maybe sometimes if you're in a very busy season of life and there's always a lot of people around, maybe it's not a physical book that you're going to be able to read. Maybe it's an audio book that you can start listening to while you're doing the dishes or anything like that. But really start thinking about what types of books that you want. Okay. So really start thinking about what type of books that you want to read. Are you kind of in this season of where you're focusing on personal development? Are you wanting to focus more on being more productive? Are you wanting to more just chill and start reading things outside of being productive and being personal development and all of those things? Because I love all the personal development books. I'm definitely a personal development junkie, but sometimes you can burn out of that. Maybe it's time to start incorporating some drama books. Maybe pull out old books like the Twilight series or Harry Potter. I don't know what other books or things there are like that, but maybe it's time for you to do that just so you can break away. Again, the whole goal of wanting to get yourself ready for the holiday season and embracing this season is to get out of the busy and start really plugging in and thinking of those ideas to help you relax, because the holiday season is naturally busy. Business is naturally extremely busy around this time because everybody's trying to reach their big goals and all of those things before the end of the year. Great. But we need to also make sure that we are prioritizing our mental and emotional health and our physical health and spiritual health during this season too. You don't want to neglect that just so you can hit the goals. So maybe just switching out some of those personal development books as you're working on just getting stuff done and doing things, and start incorporating 15 to 20 minutes a day of reading a fun and funny book, just to help you kind of break away from the busy and be able to be happy. Excuse me. All right. And now let's talk about trips to start planning for. This is that time, guys. I cannot stress this enough. If you have not already made any travel plans during the holiday time and you've been wanting to, this is that time you need to do it if you didn't do it before, okay? Because there's a lot of sales going on right now with flights and hotels. There's a lot of great packages and different things like that. So you definitely want to start looking at that. And as well, this is also low season depending on where you want to go. So maybe Disneyland is something that you might want to do, but it might just be a little too busy around this time of year for you. Maybe look into other areas like tropical areas, like going to Hawaii or going to Florida. This is all of those times where any of those tropical areas, this is the great time for you to go because it's considered hurricane season or anything like that, but it's also way, way, way cheaper. So you want to start really thinking about where you want to go, or even if it's local places, maybe just going out of town and spending a day at the pumpkin patch or the weekend, doing something, a theme park, whichever, it doesn't matter. But really start thinking about where you want to go. What is that going to consist of? And start really getting into the nitty gritty of planning all of that stuff out. Because the last thing that you want to do is be scrambling for budget and also scrambling for what you can and cannot do. And also having to pay way more than what you would have paid if you had planned it in advance. Now, we can definitely get very detailed in that, but I'm definitely going to save that for a whole nother video because planning for a trip can get very extensive. And the more detailed you can get, the more peace that you can also have. Because a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm just going to do this. And they just want to focus on the number one thing that they want to do. They do not consider all of the details with the food, the individual travel, with car rental, all of the things. Like I said, we can go to a whole nother thing on that one because it can be very extensive. Now, you might not want to do all of that, but again, the most important thing is that while you are on your vacation, you are on vacation. You're not scrambling and worried about, well, I don't have enough money for this. Well, I would love to do this, but I'm not, because you did not allow yourself to have a decent budget, or you didn't plan to have money for this or that and this and that, and trying to do everything at the last minute. It's just not how you want to spend your vacation, or even come back to extra money that was spent on the credit card because you weren't prepared to pay for it. So like I said, we can totally get into travel planning down the road. But let's go ahead and finish on this list of activities to do for the holiday season. And obviously, the last one, planning for holiday events like parties or any other activities that might be happening for the holiday season. Like there may be different concerts that your kids might be a part of, or even if you're planning on having holiday parties or anything like that, you definitely want to start really thinking about those things now, because it can get expensive, right? If we aren't prepared. So you want to make sure you start thinking about, all right, when are we going to have this? Send out those save the dates. So that way all your family and friends know, and you can start getting those RSVPs as early as you possibly can and start knowing exactly how much food to prep for and not. And this way, and the reason I say planning this in advance is because you want to make sure, especially right now, if you get your foot in the door of everybody's mind on where the holiday events are, especially for my moms who have a big family. If you say, this is what me and my family are going to do, if you would like to participate, we are inviting you guys to do that. This gives you full control over how much your family will and or will not participate in holiday parties and events, because we have a big family, for example. And as much as I love to go to other people's parties and things, it's a lot more stressful. I get overwhelmed because I'm not just packing 1 or 2 kids, I'm packing 4, right? On top of like if I'm bringing gift bags or anything like that. And it just can become a lot, especially if there's more than one party. So I personally like to plan. We have one party for, we do a Friendsgiving, and we also do a holiday movie pajama party. And this is something we've done annually for the last few years. And I always like to send it out like I've already got the dates and everything set. And so I'm going to be sending out text messages at the end, probably later on today, to let everybody know, say, hey, save the dates for this and that. These are the items that we are planning on doing. These are the activities. So if you can let me know what you would like to bring, because we're going to do potluck, or this is the food theme, or whatever it's going to be. Everybody already knows. And so now that gives you a list. And now it's just you holding people accountable to what they're saying they're going to bring. And everybody else is happy because they're not having to think about it or worry about it, right? And you guys can all just focus on having fun, and nobody's trying to scramble and stress about it at the last minute. All right. So I hope these 8 activities and ideas to help you plan and prep for the holiday season were helpful. And just to recap very quickly, let's start back from the beginning. So number 1 was recipes that you want to make sure that you try. Okay, these can be on Alexa, these can be on Pinterest, these can be home and family recipes, or maybe start a recipe planner or cookbook. For the holiday season, this is a great way to help you bring in those memories and bring the family together around food, which we all love to do, right? Now, the next one is fall break fun list. Think about what you're going to do with your kids during the fall break, especially if you got a big family and you're going to have a lot of kids around the house. Save your sanity by knowing what you're going to do in advance. You'll be happier, the kids will be happier, and you can start really having that routine and all the things on lock instead of scrambling for how you're going to entertain the kids while the kids are on break. And I said fall break right now, but also start thinking about Christmas break too. Again, the more prepared you are, the more peace you'll have. Now, movies to watch. Don't forget, this is a great opportunity to snuggle and maybe start incorporating a weekly movie night or what have you, or even just watch a TV series. It's totally up to you. It doesn't have to just be movies, but start creating that list so that way you guys can go ahead and unapologetically disconnect from the busy and just spend that intentional, cuddly, quality time with each other right in front of the TV if you'd want. And let's also not forget, number 4, memory keeping. Whether you use a journal or a planner, make sure you are doing your part on disconnecting by capturing those memories with pictures and just reflecting on the fun things that you were able to have. So that way you're not so focused on getting caught up in the busy and you feel like your life, you're just kind of living and existing in it. Take the time to capture those moments and memories so that way you can be able to look back on those as well as the kids down the road and be able to remember all of the fun times that you had. And home decorating is number 5. You want to make sure that you start thinking about how you want to decorate your house, whether you're on an extreme budget in Dollar Tree as well as the thrift stores are going to be your thing. Or if you are ready to Hobby Lobby and Michael it out, start price checking and looking at how you want to set up your house, set that budget, and really start thinking about how you want to start incorporating, decorating into your house and what areas you want to focus on. Okay. And number 6, book readings, making sure that we are finding that time to grow and develop ourselves. Or if you've been focused on the personal development and you're needing a break from that and just want to do something fun, pick up a fun romantic book, whichever type of book, but find something that you can still nourish your mind as well as your spirit by picking up something that might make you laugh or anything like that. But books are a great way to really start tapping into that comfort zone of the season. And let's not forget number 7, planning for those trips. You want to make sure this is that season that you are making sure you're getting ready, setting money aside, booking events and all of those things, not events, but booking your hotel reservations, tickets, and all of those things now as there's a bunch of sales and things going on way before like the actual holiday season peak. This is that time you want to start really getting in advance. And if you're not booking things, you're at least saving for them. Okay. All right, and now, not the last but not least, holiday parties and activities and events that you want to do or that you are already committed to doing. Start thinking about those things. Maybe if you're not 100% sure if you're going to host some things, here's a quick little side tip. Look back on your planner or just reflect on what were some of the activities that you guys did the year before that you're going to want to do this year. And if you are a budgeter or if you have some type of a expense keeping for your home and family, go back and look at all of those things and say, okay, well, this is what we spent last year. These were the activities that we did. Now, what are we going to choose to do this year? And let's make sure that we set aside that much money that we spent last year, either as a budget or use it as a reference to help you kind of gauge exactly how much you may or may not want to spend. Okay. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys found these tips helpful. And if you did, let me know in the comments which one of these ideas you're going to make sure that you try out for the next holidays. And if you have any questions, make sure you post those down below and hit like and subscribe to my channel. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.